It don't matter the color of the skin, either woman or man, just let the case land. It's here, it's in safe hands. This is God work, not a fake plan. Too many kids being found in these lakes, man. This is MTGV, and you with Miss V. She keep her ear to the streets.
Welcome in, everybody.
This is the place that you want to be. But all trolls we delete, you better believe. Just so you know we don't go.
So y'all seem to be talking about ZIYAH here.
We know, but it's
gonna go over King's testimony, y'all. Shout out to everybody on the replay. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Smack that thumbs up. Drop down in the comments and let me know who's here. Shout out to everybody in the building.
MTGV. True Crime TV.
We ain't gonna waste too much time. We gonna go over the timeline too, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building and everybody in the clouds. So yeah, I did a video earlier and it was the aunt's testimony, King's sister's testimony. I mean his son's aunt's testimony. So I want to just go over his again, and also I want to point out that his testimony was months before the preliminary hearing. This video that I'm playing was actually posted in November of 2024. Let me look at it while I'm talking. But yeah, happy hump day, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and play it too. But yeah, the date on this, it says 4 months ago, but it was November 1st, 2024. We gonna start from the top.
Person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older.
His mask is right on his eyelashes. I'm gonna move that in a minute too, y'all. Hold on. Looking stupid.
Okay, we are on the record. This is case 2459617. The people of state of Michigan versus drivers butts. Charged with count 1 homicide, murder versus breach premeditated.
Trigger words.
Child sexually abusive activity.
Trigger words.
Sexual conduct, second degree. Person under 13, defendant 17 years of age or older. With the habitual offender court, defense notice set for exam today. Appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Indirectly on behalf of the people, P83688.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matthew Mathews on behalf of the people as well, P82796.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. Good services by Henry P82125 on behalf of Mr. Travis Butts.
And good morning, Your Honor. Good defender service by Cheryl Cook, P83973, also on behalf of Travis Butts.
Welcome in, Eula. How you doing?
Mr. Butts, you can have a seat.
Okay.
Good morning, Warren Butler, here for defender service as well. Thank you. Okay, any preliminary matters before we begin the exam?
That's just would request her to invoke the rule of sequestration.
And the people would ask for an exception for the officer in charge who is sitting in the back, Sergeant Shannon Jones.
And just question whether or not Sergeant Johnson has testified today.
Not today, but she will be testifying.
No objection for exam purposes.
Okay, if there is anyone in the courtroom who may testify or is a witness on this case ending today or at trial, if it goes to trial, you must exit the courtroom now. Also, just to put everyone on notice, this case is being streamed live on YouTube. So if there's anyone on YouTube.
As we speak, is being streamed on YouTube. So I want to go over the timeline right quick. So we are talking about ZIYAH Harris. The timeline that they have of her disappearance It says the prosecutor's office provided a rough timeline of the day Harris went missing. ZIYAH took the bus to school. She had her hair in 2 braided puffballs, clear frame glasses, a white sweater with a black jacket over it, which it looked like a hoodie to me, like a zip-up hoodie, sweat type of jacket. A colorful Rugrats puffy jacket with a fur-lined hood with light blue jeans and Nike shoes. There's a video of ZIYAH getting on the school bus. So it's a video of her getting on the school bus. It's also one of her on the street. So then that's 2. If they got one of her getting on the bus, we do see her sitting on the bus, and then we see her walking down the street. So ZIYAH used her DPS issued tablet. She used her DPS issued tablet that she used to communicate and communicated with an app. We know that DPS issued tablet was picked up from the house, which is what I've been saying. She went home. She had to have gone home for the tablet to be home. So then she took her last picture on the tablet. Using her tablet, she sent a message to a device associated with Butts indicating that they would be meeting up after she got out of school that day. There's a video of her getting out of school at the end of the day in the same clothes. She met up with Butts and a coworker, and they go back to the auto shop on Connor in Detroit. ZIYAH is seen by Butts' sister at the shop. So Butts, the coworker, and ZIYAH were together in the coworker's car when they went to a Ypsilanti and then returned to the shop on Connor's. Butts' phone places him at these locations. So at 9:30 p.m. to 12:20 p.m., Butts checked into the motel. There's a receipt confirming this, as well as his phone placing him at that location. ZIYAH is never seen after January 9th, 2024. One thing to note, they never said that she was seen at the motel. And then as I scrolled down, they talked to somebody at the motel who said that they didn't see Jarvis in the motel, but somebody else may have. Let me see if I can find that. Of course, I ain't gonna be able to find it right now. It might have been on the other article I was looking at, but let me play this. Welcome in, everybody. Let me see. You said, am I serious? About which part? Good morning, Joy. Checking in from Dayton. I think you was the one in the comments saying that I noticed that King said that he was in a car versus the aunt saying he was in a truck. I think that was you, so I'm listening for that too. Because I didn't listen for that. I mean, I wasn't listening for that, so that's why I'm going over this one.
YouTube, who may testify
So much to hear.
Case, you must also log on and not view the proceedings today. Anything else?
No, Judge, this is not that's stated.
Okay, so call your first witness.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, we'll call Cordell Wright.
Stand right here, Mr. Wright. Face the judge. Raise your right hand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Watch your step.
Can you spell his first name for me?
Cordell.
Now, did he not walk around the same way that Jarvis was sitting at?
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning.
And Mr. Wright, do you have a nickname?
Yes.
And what's your nickname?
King.
Is that King?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How old are you?
37.
When's your birthday?
11/17.
What year?
86.
So Jarvis' birthday is 11/21. But Jarvis older,
And-
obviously.
Mr. Wright, back in January 2024, were you on an MDOC tether?
Yes, I was.
And what dates were you on tether from?
From March 14th, 23 to March 28th of 24.
Okay, so he was still on tether months after ZIYAH was missing.
And what were your tether restrictions back then?
I could leave the house from 6 in the morning. I had to be back in by 9 p.m.
Mr. Wright, do you know someone named Jarvis Butts?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Jarvis Butts?
I first met him. We worked together at a shop called Frank's. And
Okay.
then we owned the shop together.
And do you see Jarvis Butts in the courtroom today?
No.
Would you be able to stand up so you can look around?
Yes.
How you stand up and still didn't see him?
No.
Then they gonna put the camera on him. They gonna end up showing him a picture
When did you meet Mr. Butts?
to identify him.
2018.
And you said you two worked together initially at a place called Frank's.
Frank's.
So 2018 is when he met him. That's what he just said. And by 2019, I think he's even said 2018-19 is when he messed with Shannon. Because at first they said like 22-23 or something. But we gonna get to that.
All right. Where was Frank's at?
He has a couple locations. He has 7, but the one I met him at was on Warren and Neff.
Okay. And what locations of Frank's did you work at with Mr. Butts?
Warren and Neff.
Yes.
And Mr. Wright, I'm approaching people's proposed exhibits 4, 5, and 6. Can you look at these and tell me if you recognize those?
I recognize this one, and this one.
And those are those a fair and accurate depiction of Frank's Auto Shops? At least 2 of them on Warren and the other one maybe on Harper?
Yes.
Okay. Which is the one that's on Harper?
The last one on the inside.
Okay. And that's proposed exhibit 6?
Yes.
Okay. You're not going to the admission of people's 4, 5, and 6?
Any objection? No objection. You'll be admitted as people's exhibits 4, 5, and 6.
Thank you, Judge. How long did you work at Frank's with Mr. Butts?
A few years.
About how many years would you estimate?
2.
And when did that change from Frank's to another shop?
Jarvis' mask so high on his face that his eyelashes is hitting it.
Maybe in
Howard,
23 sometime.
right there.
Would it be earlier in the year or later in the year?
Maybe mid, maybe in May. Well, maybe April, May.
And then where did you guys work then?
We got a shop together on 9,000 Connor.
at 9000 Connor?
A sicko, car wash, and our shop was in the middle of both.
Right. You right, Joy. They definitely should have all the times with him. Yeah, they didn't share his location though. I'm sure they checked that though. But they didn't share. Maybe they'll share it in trial, or maybe they just, I don't know, because it's not his trial, maybe. Because they didn't share anybody else's location information except for Jarvis. They did mention the sister's location, though. They told us her time, that she was at the shop.
May I approach?
Yes.
Mr. Wright, I'm handing you what's marked in both proposed exhibits 7 and 8. Can you look at those and tell me if you recognize them?
Yes, I don't know.
Okay. And are those a fair and accurate depiction of your shop at 9000 Connor?
Yes, it is.
And are not with the information that people's proposed exhibits 7 and 8?
No objection. You'll be admitted as people's exhibits 7 and 8.
Thank you. Who did you, and who was it that you mainly worked with at 9000 Connor?
No, this is a key testimony, but it is from a couple months ago, before the preliminary hearing, actually.
I'm sorry.
Who was it that you worked with at 9000 Connor?
Jarvis.
I want to take you back to when you were working at Frank's with Mr. Bucks. Did you ever see Mr. Bucks with any children there?
Yes.
And specifically, did you see him with any young girl children?
Yes.
And did you know who those were?
Yes.
Who were they? Who were they?
His daughter, his niece.
Daughters and niece. What about any boys?
Yes.
Okay. And who were they?
His sons.
When I did the GPS thing and I like rode down and looked at that location, I literally seen a boy standing there. The garage was lifted and I seen a boy standing there, and there was a man standing there too, but I couldn't see their heads, but I could see the body. I zoomed in on it. It was like looked like a kind of fatigue or mixed color coat that the kid had on. And then this video that I had played, let me see if I still got it in here. Dang, I think I took it out. Yeah, it was a picture I was showing of ZIYAH dancing with her cousin at the shop with no shoes on. But pay attention to what he say they were there for. The first thing that he says.
How often would you see him with children there at Frank's?
Sporadically.
And at 9000 Connor, did you see Mr. Bucks with any children then?
Yes.
Any girls?
Yes.
And who would they be?
His daughter.
And what about any boys?
Yes.
And who would they be?
His sons.
And how often would you see him with children at 9000 Connor?
Sporadic.
Now notice he said his daughters and sons. He didn't even say ZIYAH when we know she was the main one there.
And as it relates to this case, it's fair to say that you spoke with Detroit police a few times?
Yes, about 4.
About 4 times? Okay.
So best believe they got a lot of information out of him if they talked to him 4 separate times.
That first time that you talked to Detroit police, do you recall about when that was?
The first time was the day before Valentine's Day, so like February 13th.
February 13th, and is that of 2024?
Yes.
All right. And at that time, were you presented with a jail call?
Yes.
Okay. And who was that jail call with?
Jarvis.
Okay. And who was he talking to?
Me.
And what was the topic of that jail call?
He called to ask would I receive a cell phone out of a truck for him.
And were you familiar with what truck he was asking you to get it from?
Yes.
What truck was that?
It was a Z71 Chevy Suburban.
So it's set to begin March 7th. It won't be the trial, but it'll be the beginning stages of the trial if they don't change it.
And did you know who that truck belonged to?
Yeah, his baby mom or somebody he was dealing with.
And do you recall?
So yeah, the lady whose truck it was in, he don't have a kid by her, and that's his alleged fiance.
Listening to that jail call?
Yeah, I recall.
Okay. If I, I would move to admit the jail call from, I believe it's February 8th, 2024, between Mr. Wright and Mr. Harper.
Any objection?
No objection.
What's the exhibit number on that?
Sorry, that's exhibit number 1.
It'll be admitted as exhibit 1.
Thank you, Judge. And may I publish?
Yes, I gave you photos.
Thank you, Judge.
He got a smirk on his face now. Look at him shaking his head. Yep.
And for the record, I am playing people's exhibit 1.
That's it.
This is a one-time free 3 minute call from an inmate at Wright County Jail. Your phone does not accept collect calls. This call has been provided by Helmet as a courtesy for friends and family. You cannot receive additional calls from this inmate until you fill prepaid call. We can take your credit or debit card information over the phone and can.
That's that head shake. You know you done effed up, right? Good morning, Shing Rock. Welcome in.
You immediately back to your phone. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept all communications from this. Thank you for using Helmet.
My guy, what's up, man?
Nah, shit, man. What's happening?
Nah, shit, man. How you feeling? My bad, I missed your call. I was working like a motherfucker.
I figured they said he was up there, man. They said something.
He talk like his teeth is closed and he just speaking through. What's up, man?
Yeah, you know it.
What's up, my nigga? What's up, boy?
You know it.
Hey, shit. Man,
Trigger word.
Man, these bitches put my money on my fucking books, bro.
Oh, yeah, take a minute for them to put that shit on there. Even if you walk in with it, man, they be playing it crazy. I swear to God. Hey, you got a machine and shit. You show you straight, you need something. I mean, I'm getting a couple hours for that.
Yeah, I have money on my books, nigga. I came in with money.
Trigger word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they put this shit on my hookup. I was looking from the tablet. I didn't come up $0. That's some bullshit.
That shit crazy.
Yeah.
How is it, though?
Man, that's some bullshit. I'm really gonna be quarantined on this whole shit, bro.
Oh, yeah, they got you on that quarantine club for how long? 3 days?
So the date on this is 2/8/2024. On that phone call right there.
I don't know how long, nigga. Shit, I'm about to be the only one in this bitch on my part.
You say, what happened?
He sound excited.
This shit, I'm about to be the remember me and you know, this motherfucker, this bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
What you need?
Huh?
No, I was asking something with that customer meeting. Man, listen. You straight?
Yeah, my nigga.
Huh?
Okay, so King at work, because I just heard him say he was asking somebody what the customer needed.
Oh, shit, yeah. You got passion number, right?
He knew he wanted that.
Yeah. So, King, I need you to call her one thing and get that truck up there, nigga. Get my phone out there back seat, bro. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to get the truck up there. What will tell her? Tell her you got you fuck around and lost your card up there, too, when we was moving the radio. Okay.
See these manipulative tactics they're using? He like, what I'ma tell her, bro? Like, he a willing participant. So is Jarvis the mastermind?
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Reach behind that back seat. Yeah. So you reach behind that back seat, bro. The box right there. Straight behind the middle of that back seat, bro. Okay, under it or in the back or in the back thing? In the back, right in the back of the seat, bro. Okay. I'm on the second row. You know you took the key. You took the key to the gate.
And he wasn't able to find the phone. Do y'all think that he didn't look for the phone or he wasn't listening? Which was it? Because he didn't find it. Even though where he told him it was at is exactly where the police found it.
It's the same key. I don't have that key, do it. Yeah, you do. It's the same key to the lock and the door. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right. Yeah, it's the same key, bro. Now, you know I got to put the money on the phone later, man. When I get around, baby, I have to put the credit card. I told my wife and have to bring up the key. No, I don't need it, though. If you said the same one, I got it. So I don't need it right now anyway. Just when I get the scrap out of there.
His wife, and he ain't married a dang soul. Straight down in the middle of the back seat, cracking back up. Oh boy, the last roll, the second roll or something, he said, like, yeah, he couldn't find that. So for the people that said, oh, he loved her and all this, which is disgusting to even think about, that dude didn't give a damn. He did not care about her, period. This was a month later, dang near to the date. Did he sound remorseful or sad or anything? No, he's still trying to get himself out of trouble.
And Mr. Wright, were you successful in getting that cell phone from the vehicle like Mr. Bud asked you to?
She came up there, but no, I wasn't successful. It wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
When we say she,
Tasha.
So he said it wasn't there. That means he looked. Allegedly. But I mean, if he said it wasn't there, that means he looked. He didn't find it.
Who's talking that you know of?
His baby mom.
Okay. Did you look for it in the vehicle?
Yeah, I looked for it.
Okay. And you were unsuccessful at finding it?
Yes.
And I'm sure I want to talk to you now about the second time that you were speaking with Detroit police. Would that be fair to say that was just a couple days after your first time?
It was not long, a few weeks maybe. I was off tether at that point, I believe.
Okay. And do you recall talking about fixing a red Jaguar and going to Ypsilanti?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about how many times did you and Mr. Butts go to Ypsilanti?
I believe it was either 2 or 3.
All right. And how did that come about? Who's the red Jaguar is this?
My son's grandma. So she called, said she was having some problems with it and asked if we would come look at it, which is not unusual. We do house calls depending on the person and where it's located, but this is my son's grandma, so of course we're gonna make that assessment.
We do.
She called and said she had a problem with the car, asked if we would come look at it. We went, assessed the car at her house the first time. I think we made a minor repair there, not to the extent that it was the problem that she was having after the fact.
Okay. So Where is this red Jaguar located when you guys go out to see it?
It's in my son's grandma driveway in Ypsilanti, off Michigan Avenue, I believe.
Alright. And who goes with you out there that first time?
Jarvis.
Okay. It's just you and Jarvis?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys go out there and you assess, make a minor repair.
Yeah.
Does it completely fix the car?
For that problem, yes.
Okay. And then is there another time
Thank
that
y'all
you,
for the thumbs up.
end up having to do work on this red Jaguar?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that.
She drove the Jaguar for a while. It was doing fine. And then she said it was leaking something. I asked her what it was leaking. She said she didn't know. I asked her if she could get it towed to the shop. She said, yeah.
Okay. So at some point, this red Jaguar gets towed to your shop at 9000 Connor?
Yes.
Okay. And who works on it at 9000 Connor?
Me and Jarvis.
Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing? Do you ever finish fixing the red Jaguar?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing it?
We take it back to her. I called her first and asked her how she was planning on retrieving the vehicle. She said she was going to tow it, and I didn't want to cost her no more money, so I told her that we could bring it.
Okay. And do you recall if that was on or about January 9th of 2024?
It was on.
It was on that day?
Yes.
Okay. So on that day, before you take the red Jaguar back, who was tell me about how that day started for you.
I woke up. I typically leave the house at 6 because that's what time I could leave. So I went to the gym. I got to the shop probably around 8:30. I don't know who opened the shop. I can't really recall which one of us opened it, but Jarvis may have been there already. A few cars came in, then the Jaguar probably got there maybe around 9 o'clock.
See, I knew I heard him say that, but when I recorded it, I missed the whole, like, the part about the Jaguar. I just got there about 9 o'clock, right? Well, the auntie's testimony, she said that they took that Jaguar there the 4th or the 5th. Now, I had not even heard that until I had re-listened, because I wasn't listening for it. I was just listening to it, right? She said that they dropped that car, or that car got towed there about the 4th or 5th. So it had been sitting there for 4 days, at least 3 or 4 days before they even touched it. So he just lied right there. Big time. Or she lying. Which one y'all believe?
I assessed the Jaguar. Jarvis left for a moment. I had another mechanic.
So Jarvis left for a moment after the Jaguar got there, and this early in the morning. This must have been when Jarvis went to court, because he would have had to have gone to court that morning. And then he went to court and was able to get an extension until February 7th or whatever, when he was finally locked up to take care of some stuff. Had he got arrested like he was supposed to, we wouldn't be here right now. Not talking about ZIYAH.
Being it's a foreign car, so I had a foreign car mechanic on call to help with the work, but he was busy, so he came, said he wouldn't have time to do it, so I think I Googled.
Okay, let me see what y'all saying. Joy said, so let me come on this side. Go to the comments. So if he's lying about that, he lied about the time they left to Ypsilanti. Exactly. I've been pointing that out because he said the Jaguar arrived there about 9 o'clock, right? Ain't that what he said? And he said that they left at 7:30 p.m. to go to Ypsilanti. There's no way he would have got back by 9 to be on time for his tether. Then the honest testifying that it was light out when they left. It is not adding up. Those two testimonies are key. So I dropped the video earlier of the aunt, so I'm gonna put it in the chat after I end this. Y'all could go check that out. But she definitely said the total opposite. He lying. He made it seem like the Jaguar just got there that day. And that's what I've been thinking up until I listened to her testimony again.
We did seen how it was done, and I proceeded taking the water pump off.
Okay. So you're working on the Jaguar, and is Mr. Buck at work that day?
Yes, he was there.
Okay. What do you guys, being you and Mr. Bucks, do as it relates to work that night?
I think we had a few cars that came in that needed some minor repairs. Between that and the Jaguar, we was jumping in and out of the Jaguar job, and the cars that pulled up, maybe oil change, tune up, whatever, et cetera, so forth was. But we was mainly working on the Jaguar, trying to get the water pump off, as it is a hard job to do.
Okay, so he made it sound like they was really busy that day, and they had a bunch of cars there. They jumping in and out while they fixing the Jaguar, right? Okay.
And do you always have all of your parts on stock or on your person in stock with you?
No, we call either AutoZone, Mansfield, one of the auto stores that has them.
Okay. And did you have to go get any
You
auto
have
parts
Shane
on
Rock.
January
That's
9th?
what's up.
Yes, we had to go get the water pump for the Jaguar, as well as some other parts, I believe, for other cars.
Hold on.
And when you go and get parts, is it usually just one of you, both of you, or something else?
That depending. If it's a car there, then one of us will stay. If it's not a car there, we go together.
Okay, so what did he just tell us? That it was a bunch of cars they jumping in and out of. So why didn't one of y'all stay? Why did y'all both go? Why?
Is Mr. Buck at work that day?
Yes, he was there.
Okay. What do you guys, being you and Mr. Bucks, do as it relates to work that night?
I think we had a few cars that came in that needed some minor repairs. Between that and the Jaguar, we was jumping in and out of the Jaguar job, and the cars that pulled up, maybe oil change, tune up, whatever, et cetera, so forth was. But we was mainly working on the Jaguar, trying to get the water pump off, as it is a hard job to do.
And do you always have all of your parts on stock or on your person in stock with you?
No, we call either AutoZone, Mansfield, one of the auto stores that has them.
Okay. And did you have to go get any auto parts on January 9th?
Yes, we had to go get the water pump for the Jaguar, as well as some other parts, I believe, for other cars.
Okay. And when you go and get parts, is it usually just one of you, both of you, or something else?
That depending. If it's a car there, then one of us will stay. If it's not a car there, we go together sometimes.
Okay. And on January 9th of 2024, did one of you guys go to the auto parts store, or did you both go?
We both went.
Both went? Okay.
She gave him the right answer the first time. Did one of you go? No, they both went and it was busy. I don't even know why they would need to go to get the water pump together or get it at all if the car been sitting there since the 4th or the 5th. Why was y'all just getting it the day that y'all repairing it? How long? I mean, I don't buy that story. But I mean, I guess I don't know if they got proof that they went there or not. But just like Joy said, though, they should have everything with King, because he a tracking device by himself. And I wasn't even thinking about his, that. So, but they haven't told us King's pings. Or should I say Kongs, dongs. Somebody called him Kong and had me cracking up. It's hard. Like, I started out calling him King, so it's hard for me to call him something else. Plus, that's what people know him by, King or Cordell. So that's why I call him his proper alleged names. We know he ain't no king, though. He is more like a Kong and a ding dong.
So what happens when you go to the auto parts store?
Before that, I called them. They ordered the water pump, so we went and picked it up when they called and said it was in.
Wait a damn minute. So he waited to the 9th to call to even order the part, and you had the car there from the 4th or the 5th. That don't even make sense. That don't make sense, but I guess they just not smart. Do that make sense to y'all? What? Who was on trial? Because I thought this trial was over. Oh no, the trial actually haven't even begun. So this is a key witness, though, and so this is a good testimony to listen to because we already catching all the lies. This stuff, they all lie. A lot of the stuff is not matching up. You know, his and the auntie in Ypsilanti, they not matching up at all.
We got in the truck.
Oh wait, let me see.
AutoZone.
So let me go over here. I got 3 different screens up. So that tells you that the car was already there, not arrived at 9 a.m. You have to order parts for the Jaguar, and they aren't gonna be there the same day. That's what he just said. They was there the same day. He called in earlier that day and ordered the part. You know, I'm standing on Shannon, set this all up. Where's the proof of that, though? They ain't showed us no proof of that. Now, I believe she was involved somehow, but they haven't showed us proof of that. But I tell you what, they investigate her now, though, because the kids are taken. It's a whole investigation going on right now that we don't know about. None of these stories are matching up. Well, I know for sure these ain't, because these are the ones that I'm pointing out and catching. I will have to, and of course the grandmother was lying, Shannon was lying. Yeah, I theirs was obvious, but these 2 wasn't to me because we didn't know this information. All of these times and stuff. The stuff that I'm pointing out is clear. So it is one thing to note, to say that they're lying, but it's another to be able to point out the lies and the inconsistencies. And that's what we're doing right now.
So got the water pump on our way back from AutoZone. I believe we forgot something. So we ended up turning back around, going back.
Why he ain't remember what they forgot? Oh, I believe we forgot something. Now they ordered the part, went and got it, and yeah, let's listen.
The auto parts on January 9th?
Yes, we had to go get the water pump for the Jaguar, as well as some other parts, I believe, for other cars.
Okay. And when you go and get parts, is it usually just one of you, both of you, or something else?
That depending. If it's a car there, then one of us will stay. If it's not a car there, we go together sometimes.
Okay. And on January 9th of 2024, did you guys, did one of you guys go to the auto parts store, or did you both go?
We both went.
Both went? Okay. Tell me what happens when you go to the auto parts store.
Before that, I called them. They ordered the water pump, so we went and picked it up when they called and said it was in. We got in the truck, went to AutoZone, got the water pump. On our way back from AutoZone, I believe we forgot something, so we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone, grabbed whatever we forgot, came back, and on our way back, we was coming down Harper. Driver said, "I see my niece right there. She walking." We pulled into Angel's liquor store. I still didn't see her. He pointed across my face, said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time. She got in the truck with us. She spoke. Hi, King. Hi, Jay. And we proceeded back to the shop.
Okay. So that would mean, okay, so according to his testimony, even though we know he lying, the Jaguar got there at 9 o'clock and they didn't go pick up, they didn't had the pump in hand and ready to work on the car until after 3. Because they said they forgot something and they went back. So that means the water pump is not even put on the car. Right? And then they both just riding around together. So that leaves nobody at the shop with the customers. Because I ain't hear him talk about nobody else working at the desk or nobody else there while they gone. They're the people that run the shop. So you mean to tell me they closed down the shop to go both be in the car going back and forth to the auto store? That don't make sense at all. Wouldn't one of them been under the car doing the oil check, whatever, something, fixing some brakes? I don't know what all they do at this shop, but that don't make sense. And the other thing I already pointed out that the liquor store, I couldn't find an Angel's liquor store on Harper, but I did find a Angelo's Liquors on Harper in Harper Woods. And that's way far from where they supposed to be. So that ain't adding up either. I got videos on that.
So, when you guys are driving to these auto parts stores, who's driving?
Jarvis,
Okay, and where are you at?
passenger seat.
Okay. And you said when you guys are heading back to
Jarvis was
back
driving.
to the shop the second time,
Mhm.
That's when you said Jarvis spots someone.
Yes,
Who does he say that he spots?
his niece.
So she said who was driving? Jarvis was driving. So why did he need to pull over? Wait a minute now. I'm getting confused here. Didn't he just hold on? Let's take that back.
Parts. Is it usually just one of you, both of you, or something else?
That depending. If it's a car there, I still didn't see her. He pointed across my face, said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time. She got in the truck with us. She spoke, hi King, hi Jay, and we proceeded back to the shop.
Didn't he say he pulled over? Hold
So
on.
we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone, grab whatever we forgot.
Hold on.
I before that I called them. They ordered the water pump, so we went and picked it up when they called and said it was in. We got in the truck, went to AutoZone, got the water pump. On our way back from AutoZone, I believe we forgot something. So we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone.
So that means the part is still with them, and then the Jaguar ain't even being fixed on yet, because the part is with them. And this is 3 o'clock. His sister got there at 4 o'clock to get her car fixed, and she didn't leave until 5:16. They was done with the Jaguar by that time. That's not enough time to fix that. Maybe the Jaguar was already fixed and they was just waiting on a perfect opportunity to go out of town to have an excuse to do a long stretch so they could get rid of her along the way. That don't make sense, what he just said. Because he also said at the beginning that it is a hard job, and it is. He also said that it was some other guy that was specializing in fixing this type of car. This is not an easy job. He said that himself, and he didn't know how to fix it. The guy ended up canceling on him and not coming to help him. He Googled how to fix it. That would have took him way longer, not knowing what he was doing. That don't even add up at all.
Grabbed whatever we forgot, came back. And on our way back, he was coming down Harper. Jarvis said, I see my niece right there. She walking. We pulled into Angel's liquor store. I still didn't see her. He pointed across my face, said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time. She got in the truck with us. She spoke, hi King, hi Jay, and we proceeded back to the shop.
Why would he need to tell him all that? Like, the way that he told that story was like he was the one driving. You know what I'm saying? That's why I thought that he was, because why would he point, there go my niece. And then he said, we put in. He didn't say Jarvis put in. He said, we. Which one of them was driving? Then when she said who was driving, he said Jarvis. But why did Jarvis need to tell him there she was? He could have just pulled over. Because he I didn't see her at first, and then I did, like he was driving. Anyway, let's go.
Okay. So, when you guys are driving to these auto parts stores, who's driving?
Jarvis.
Okay, and where are you at?
Passenger seat.
So I heard that it is a hard job. It depends, because I do remember Googling it, and it could take a couple hours to 15 if you don't know what you're doing. And he just told us he didn't. And that's a foreign car, correct? So, yeah. He said, as it is a hard job. So hard, he needed somebody else to help him. That didn't show up, and he Googled. Yeah.
Okay. And you said when you guys are heading back to the shop the second time,
Mm-hmm.
That's when you said Jarvis spots someone?
Yes.
Who does he say that he spots?
His niece.
His niece, okay. And do you recognize his niece?
Yes, when I see her, when he point her out to me, yes, I recognize her walking across the street.
Okay. And so you guys pull over. Where does she get into the car at?
I believe she getting behind me, so the back seat behind me.
And so we already know that it was a text message that ZIYAH texted and said, be there at 3, and I'll be there at 3. If you ain't there, I'll wait, and told him to delete the message and all that. So he's making it sound like, oh, they just happened to see her. No, it was scheduled to see her. And she did not walk all the way over there from that bus stop. I believe they picked her up on the way from her walking, maybe at the corner, you know what I'm saying, of the street from her bus stop. She wasn't way at no dang on liquor store walking across the street. I don't buy it.
Does Jarvis say anything to her?
Yeah, she speaks to both of us, and we speak back.
And then a guy that lives there, he took the route, and I got that video, and he was saying too that, well, I didn't take this part of it, but he said AutoZone is not even in the route of Harper or something. He was saying like they wouldn't have ran into her going that way to AutoZone. But I just off of her getting off the bus alone and the distance that it would have took the liquor store that I tracked, it would have took her an hour or something to get there. Now, the liquor store that I tracked that was in Harper Woods, which is actually near the Park Crest Motel on that side of town. But I'm still, it would take somebody that lived there to tell me if it's a liquor store near the AutoZone or in the route that would make them be even. What liquor store? I didn't find one though. I typed in Angels and it put up Angelo's in Harper Woods.
Okay. What does he say to her?
Hi.
And where do you guys go after you pick up his niece?
Back to the shop.
Okay, and that's at 9,000 Connor?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you guys do when you get back to 9,000 Connor?
He back in. We get out. We proceed to working on the Jaguar. I may have got out the car first with the parts, and he was in the car with her for a second. I got out, started working on the Jaguar.
And
he back in, I get out. Now, when he said he backed in, you would think he was talking about into the garage, but why would he back his car into the garage? Maybe he just meant the driveway. I don't know. But we know that ZIYAH sat out in his truck for hours to the point of the gas ran out. That was another thing. It was January 9th. It was cold outside. ZIYAH used to go to the shop all the time. Why was she sitting in the car that time? So long that the gas ran out that they had to push the car to put gas in it. Why they supposed to be fixing on this difficult vehicle? That don't even make sense either.
What happens next? What do you guys do?
I believe she get out, get into the front seat, reposition herself to the front seat of his truck. It was colder that day. I believe she started the truck. We started working on the Jaguar, putting the parts back on. It took a little minute. Like I said, it was a difficult job, so it took a while.
Define a while, because at this point it's after 3 o'clock and they just getting started.
At some point, I believe his truck ran out of gas, so we had to stop what we were doing to push his truck to the gas pump so he could get some gas.
So that stalled them how much time? Why they supposed to be working on the Jaguar? Keep in mind now, the sister left at 5:16 and her vehicle was fixed. We already after 3. It's probably closer to 4 by now.
So you said that she gets out of the car that you guys were in?
Yes.
Okay, and then she gets into Jarvis' truck.
No. We was always in Jarvis' truck.
Okay.
So she gets out the back seat and repositions herself to the front seat so she can start the cover.
They was always in his truck.
What kind of car, or what kind of truck Starks drive?
Escalade.
And what color?
It's pearl white.
Pearl white Escalade. Let's see. The reason I Shannon, that text between her about that location, then calling school when she ran away. All sus. It wasn't, you said a text about the location? You talking about Outer Drive? That was something that I didn't see a text message about that location, because that was one of the questions. When was that? You know what I'm saying? When did ZIYAH actually ask her about the location of Outer Drive and Balfour? So I can tell you that Shannon actually posted that on her page on January 11, 2024, a conversation between her and Roxy. And she said that then. And she also said it on the stand. And when she said it on the stand, they asked her, when did ZIYAH ask her that about that location? And Shannon said, first she said, like, she was saying like days before or whatever. Then she just ended up narrowing it down to it was the same week that she went missing. So it would be nice if we had a text to show when she actually asked that, because that is key information. Oh, I eyed Shannon, meaning watching her. Oh, okay. No, they haven't found her body. That's why they haven't charged him with the baby, because they don't know how far she was. I mean, and they can't assume because of the text messages. They would need to do forensics and all that to find out, DNA and all that to find out, you know, the autopsy and all that to know the age of the fetus or baby. But if we go by the text message that she sent, she would have been 4 to 5 months, because it was September when she said that she missed. It was September 23rd, I think, or 26th, somewhere around there. And then he asked her when was the last time she had one, and she said last month when I was in the hospital. So then I'm wondering, what was she in the hospital for? Oh, I think Jarvis believed that there was no body, there was no case, but the judge found that there was evidence to show otherwise. Is that correct? Yeah, he probably did think that nobody, no case, but it's plenty. I done seen a couple nobody cases go forward. Yeah, he was wrong with that. I'm ready for her autopsy. Man, I just hope they find her body, you know? What did he do to her, with her? I'm really feeling like she didn't even make it back from Ypsilanti, because it was a reason why they waited that long. You know what I'm saying? If the Jaguar been sitting there for days and they waited to that opportunity, it was like, I mean, he really took a chance to wait to that day. How did he know that he wasn't gonna get locked up? So he really rolled the dice on it. And he waited and waited. He knew since September. His searches for a resolution didn't even start to December. He was trying to save his own ass. That's really the only reason why he did it, I believe. Got rid of her. And then those other charges that came later, I mean, the other charges of the other kids involved, that actually happened because of ZIYAH. Okay, he actually picked up those charges in September. I think it was September 27. It's something about court and stuff. They always bring stuff forward around the dates of stuff that happened in the case. I always notice that. But yeah, they charged him, and I think it was like September. He picked up those charges for those old CPS stuff. CPS also talked to Jarvis too, face to face interview, and found nothing. So that's why they got that petition going on. You know, hold people accountable. Number one, CPS, they need to do their job and hold people accountable that knows that a person is got a record such as his, who allowed them around their kids and stuff and do nothing. I read the reports of Shannon whooping her child in 2022 after telling. And ZIYAH did. So for the people that was like, oh, you know, she look at them text messages, she grown. She was forced to do that. She was forced into it. And she was looking for love and approval. I picture her in the middle. They said she was always with always with Shannon before she moved in with the mother. And I'll never forget the video when she was younger and walked up to Shannon and said, I'm Rainbow. What? And then when she said that she took her brother's B, and then Jarvis like, RB? Like, what? Why does she know that he likes that kind of stuff? You know, the whole 3 thing. Cause she know. They only going off of the technology. That didn't start until 2022. We know that she wasn't 2 years old and 4 years old and 6 years old with a cell phone. This was all her life. And still in 2022, she told. Right. I hate when people say that. It's disturbing. They don't know what that is, I guess. Grooming.
Is niece doing while you guys are working on shop?
I believe she's on her cell phone, I believe.
Look, but she ain't got a cell phone, though. He said she was on a cell phone, so he believed, but she had something. So where's that cell phone at? Where's that device that she may have had? Because do y'all believe she was just sitting in the car all them hours with nothing? Just sitting there? I don't think so. I do wonder what state she was in, but when we listen at the auntie's testimony, she was fine when she went to Ypsilanti.
Does Jarvis ever take his niece anywhere that, like, while you guys are working at the shop?
No.
Damn, did he ever take her anywhere? So did he maybe take her home at some point to take that stuff home? Because they would have been able to track her if she had that tablet with her. You see what I'm saying? Like, the tablet was at home. And she asked if he left. I believe he must have left at some point. I don't believe she was sitting there that whole time just sitting in the car bored. That don't make sense.
Did you ask him if he was going to take her home at all?
I believe I asked him, was he going to drop her off when the truck ran out of gas? We had to push it to the pump.
He believed he asked. Wouldn't you remember if you asked that question or not? Welcome in, Sherry Clark. Welcome in, Frugal Mama. Let me see. Oh, shoot. Let me come over here. Let me see what y'all saying. She was around this man, a trusted family member, technically her uncle. Yeah. Yep. Allegedly. But he wasn't even claiming her auntie like that. Talking about my niece. Boy, you ain't even claiming Shannon. Talking about remember we heard the phone call of him with that female when he told her, you the dumb bee, you the newcomer. Everybody know what it is with Shannon. What is it, sir? Yeah, it's an arrangement. The judge stated that the system and her family failed. Exactly. Sure did. I mean, because it was just too much. It was just too much that they knew and did nothing. How you interview this jackass face to face and don't see that he lying? We seen him in interrogation.
It was just a distraction from work, so I asked was he gonna drop her off. He said no.
And do you finish working? Did you finish working on the Jaguar that day?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens after you finish up on the Jaguar?
I called my son grandma and asked her how she was gonna retrieve the vehicle. She said she was gonna tow it back. I told her she didn't have to do that. That was just spending extra money. So I asked Jarvis, was it all right if we dropped it off?
So according to his testimony, it wasn't even planned to take the truck to Ypsilanti. I mean the Jaguar there. He had to call and ask her. So what time was that? What time did he call her? Because he called her when he got done. Then he asked Jarvis that. Now he ain't mentioned the sister being there though. I don't think.
He said yes. And we started making preparations to do so.
Do you recall about what time you guys finished the Jaguar and prepared to leave?
Right around 7:30ish, somewhere around there.
How? How? 7:30 p.m., sir? Look at the judge.
When do you guys eventually leave the shop?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about who all leaves the shop?
Me, Jarvis, and his niece.
Okay. And tell me about the driving arrangements.
So I drove my 300 and Jarvis drove the Jaguar.
So he drove his 300 and Jarvis drove the Jaguar. Okay. And so when did it switch? This is the part that dang, where's she at? Where's her name at? This is the part that the lady was saying that he drove his car. Okay, so he clearly said he drove his 300. But did the aunt say Jarvis? Yeah, I think the aunt did say Jarvis. I mean, his truck. Yeah, I think she did. God.
And where was his niece at?
She was with him in the front seat of the Jaguar.
Now, are you able to recall what his niece looked like?
Now I noticed that we didn't hear. Shannon said the Shannon Jones, the detective, said that they did like over 20 search warrants. So I'm wondering, did they search his vehicle? I mean, I would think that they would have searched his 300. But we ain't hear about that though.
Today?
Yes. Faintly, but yes.
Do you remember what kind of clothing she was wearing?
I remember she had a jacket on. Like I said, a coat. It was cold, so I think it was colorful.
Colorful?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you feel led to donate to the channel, I have a goal set up. We definitely work hard over here. So I would appreciate some love if y'all can do it. But we have a goal set of 10. I'm starting to think Jarvis had his time with the twins and moved on to the kids, and the whole time paying the mother. He could have been paying or not. His payment was babies. That's what it's looking like. Long as he laying up with them, because this lame, he had nothing. That's why with the pregnancy test and all that, we didn't hear nothing about him giving no money. When we heard Shannon finally admit that she the one that bought the test, that never came up in the text messages or anything, and he actually was telling her to get one, and then she told him, you get one. So he's so dang on cheap and broke, allegedly, even though he making money every day, he couldn't even take care of that. So I don't think he was paying nothing. I really don't. His payment was what he was giving them: time, attention, and babies for his pleasure, allegedly.
May I approach?
Yes.
But hey,
I'm approaching good people's proposed exhibit 2.
do y'all think that he was paying? I'm gonna do a poll. Maybe some other people think. Hold on.
And I'm going to direct you to the top left corner. Can you tell me, is there anything that you recognize in that?
The jacket in Channel 1.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the jacket that you've seen his niece, Jarvis's niece, wearing that day?
Yes.
Okay, so let me look at the poll right now. The question is, do you believe Cordell's testimony? 59 people said, 59 votes said yes at 5%, no at 63%, and not sure yet at 32%. So thank y'all for the 59 votes. I'm gonna do the other vote to ask, do y'all believe that old boy was paying? I'm curious. And thank you for the who posted that.
And I move for the admission of people's proposed exhibit 2.
Any objection? Okay. So we'll give it as people's exhibit 2.
Thank you. I'm going to show you your man approach. And I'm showing you its marked appeals proposed exhibit 3. Do you recognize what I just handed you?
Yes.
Thanks. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of Jarvis's niece as you remember seeing her back on January 9th, 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the same niece that went with you to Ypsilanti?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And I move for the admission of people's proposed exhibit 3.
No objection. Okay, it'll be admitted as people's exhibit 3.
Thank you. So, you guys are driving to Ypsilanti.
You said you didn't hear the testimony, Robert. Which testimony didn't you hear? The aunt? You lost? What part you lost on? Have you been following this case?
You said you're driving in your 300, and Jarvis is driving the Jaguar with his niece.
Yes.
Okay.
About how long did it take you guys to get to Ypsilanti?
It was raining that day, so about 35 minutes.
35 minutes. That would have been 8:05. Well, actually, at 7:30, he said they was prepared to leave. But if we just go by that, okay, 35 minutes. So 8:05. And then you got to drive back. That's another 35 minutes. And the aunt said they was there at least maybe an hour. First she said 30, 45 minutes. Then she said an hour. So I was like, we gonna take the hour. So yeah, that ain't adding up. You ain't getting back home by 9. Before 9. Oh, another thing I noticed is that he said he got to the shop about 8:45, And he also basically got back to the shop, like opening the shop, because he said he's never on time. He always late, and he ran down all the stuff that he did. He said about 8:45, right? He arrived at the shop around the same time that he left the shop. So exactly 12 hours. Dang near. I mean, it's that close. Let's go. Let me see what the votes looking like so far. So the question is, do you believe Jarvis was paying? 9 votes. How many people we got? 77 people. Please vote, y'all, and also please smack the thumbs up. So we only have 9 votes, and yes, 44% says no at 33%, and maybe at 22%. So people really feeling like that is possible that he could have been paying. Okay, and one more person just voted, and now we got no and yes tied. Oh shoot, hold on. It's changing. So yes at 45%, no at 36%. So we gonna see where that poll goes. And I didn't even think about him paying because he just so lame and he just don't seem like he got nothing to me. You know, he live off of women. He don't have his own vehicle. He don't have his own car. He don't have his own nothing. He get paid daily. He ain't built. You know what I'm saying? He don't have nothing for real. So if he ain't working, he ain't making no money.
And when you get to Ypsilanti, what do you do?
We get out, we park the car, get out, we go in. My son's grandma and I believe his auntie was there as well, so they greeted us.
He believed when they had this extensive conversation, he believed the auntie was there. What? The auntie is the one that was brought in for trial, not the granny. But he believed she was there. That's odd.
They spoken to him before, so they greet him. And then my son, grandma asked who the little girl was.
Did you introduce the little girl?
No.
Okay. Who introduced the little girl?
Jarvis did.
And what did Jarvis introduce her as?
His niece.
And about how long do you guys stay in Ypsilanti?
Not long, maybe 15 minutes or so. My son.
15 minutes or so, he says. Okay. That's still gonna be what? 8. Well, we already know he lying, but that's still gonna be about 8:45, 9 o'clock leaving.
Son, auntie had to go get the rest of our money that my son, grandma didn't have, so she went to the ATM.
And the auntie had to go to the ATM, so that's more time. Was it light or dark outside, sir?
Talking. Talking. She was just telling us about other work she needed to do around her house, etc., so on and so forth.
And was Mr. Bucks with you the whole time?
Okay, so the aunt gone to get money out the ATM, the granny talking, they telling her about the car, she telling them about other stuff. That's more than 15 dang minutes. She only got 15 minutes. She ain't about to be telling you about stuff she need done at the house when you the freaking mechanic. That's time. Y'all done talked about the car. Y'all talking about other stuff now. Also, he was trying to wait on his son to get there, according to her testimony.
Yes.
King Kong
So,
may have been a part of this. Okay, he lying.
Yes.
And tell me about the driving arrangements coming.
Hold on, I missed some.
At this point.
And was Mr. Bucks with you the whole time?
Yes.
No. Let me see. King Kong covering for himself. King Kong may have been a part of it. Yep. I can't wait until. Hold on. Let me go over here. It's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot of lies in here that I wasn't listening for. I can't wait till the truth comes out, and I believe Jarvis gonna throw everyone involved under the bus. I believe that everybody gonna throw everybody under the bus. That's why it's so important to lock them up, and they gonna tell on each other. That's all you gotta do.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You going to jail. You going to jail. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. Nanny boo boo.
And I mean, I seen it myself that they added charges on him, and we were told, well, what's her name? Roxy says she was told that it was an error, and I don't believe that. And the last time I looked, those charges are still on old Cordell Kong's record, you know. So I don't know if anything been added to him. If we go by the record, it's been added, right? So why would they say that it was an error? And we know that he's not a great guy. He jumped on a pregnant woman. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, birds of a feather flock together.
So, you guys eventually leave Ypsilanti.
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about the driving arrangements coming.
Notice they ain't asking him about the times. Like, they want to leave us in suspense. They could just simply ask him the question. Grandma used every and cross the door. She used what? She used every period and cross the door. I'm not sure. We know that she don't run a tight ship, though. And like I said, only thing tight at her house is them chains on that refrigerator. Okay? She ain't breaking no chains on that.
Or leaving Ypsilanti.
At this point, we only have one vehicle, which
is CPS did break every chain on that refrigerator because it ain't gonna be no reason to lock it up. You gonna be wishing you could put some food in there. Like, because if your lifestyle was living off of the children and they're no longer there, yeah, you're gonna have to find a job or do something, because with what's happening in the White House, they stripping everything down, man. Like, I don't even know if Snap gonna be left for anybody to snap back. It's over with. The free ride has ended for her, allegedly.
We get in, drivers in the front. I believe Nazaya sat behind me.
Sat behind you?
Yes.
Okay. So, and is there any kind of talking or conversation when you guys are driving?
No, I got sounds in my car, so no.
And do you recall about what time you guys, where do you guys go when you leave Ypsilanti?
Back to 9,000 Connors.
Okay. And do you recall about what time you guys get back to 9,000 Connors?
Probably around 8:45. I was cutting it close.
See? He literally said 8:45. That's the same time he got there, y'all. About 8:45. The Jaguar arrived about 9 o'clock. So now it's 8:45. He cutting it close for 9 o'clock. Interesting.
Tell them.
What do you do when you get back to 9,000 Connors?
Open up the shop door where he left. He left his truck in one of the bays, so we opened up that bay door, went through the gas station, because that's the way we entered the shop. Went through the gas station, opened the shop, opened one of the bay doors. Went to the.
So he left his truck in the bay, and remember he said that he had backed into the shop. So I'm wondering, was that truck sitting inside or out? But I would think maybe not, because it was running. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he said they first got back to the shop, Jarvis backed in. He got out with the parts and all that. That's the part I'm talking about. He never said it was outside or inside. Well, he did say it was backed in. So you ain't gonna say it's. I don't know, but let's go.
The back and started splitting the money that we had made for the day, and separating the receipts, etc.
So King must live close to the shop, Because if they got there at 8:45, they count money, they gotta split it up and all this. Like, I mean, damn, how long you gonna do he live at the motel across the street? I don't know. Where do he gotta live close? Damn close.
Where do you see his niece go?
Get in this truck.
Do you recall where at his truck she got into?
Passengers.
Oh, so he did see her get in the truck. Okay, why did she ever get out? If she didn't get out the damn truck, okay, right. They was in his car. Okay, they was in King car. All right.
The front passenger, back passenger, or something else?
Front passenger.
And where's Mr. Buck at?
Back in the back with me, separated the cash.
And when you
That same back would be the same back that they would be hanging out at while he allegedly fixing on cars. The same back that's right there by the door that separates the car place and the freaking gas station. It's just a door. So I don't know how the hell they was able to be in there and nobody hear anything. Ever. Like, it's not a big shop.
you leave, do you lock up the shop?
No, I left first.
You left first. Okay. So when you leave, who's still at the shop?
Jarvis and his niece.
Okay, so that, I mean, how much time do we have, right? Y'all see, he said he got there at 8:45. All the stuff that they did, he made it home by 9 o'clock, I guess, allegedly. And Jarvis was clocked at another woman's house at 9 o'clock. Boy, they everything convenient, I guess. Like, we already know that Jarvis I think it's some lying going on here, but we already know that Jarvis do everything for convenience. His women live close by, you know what I'm saying? He mess with people in walking distance from one another and have other women picking him up, like Shannon, from different places. They even asked Shannon that. But yeah, that's a whole, boy, they can do a lot in 15 minutes, can't they? Boy, they maximize their time.
Do you see them leave the shop at all?
No.
And have you seen Jarvis's niece, the one that was with you on the 9th? Have you seen her since January 9th, 2024?
No.
Now I want to talk about the day after that you guys went to FC, so January 10th. Do you recall if Mr. Bucks was at work that day?
I don't think he was.
What makes you think that he wasn't?
I believe he called me like 3 times, 4 times.
3 or 4 times with a man that you done been with all night the day before. I mean, y'all was just together last night. Why did he need to call this man 4 times? Was he asking your advice? Was he asking you, like, at this point, we know he hiding stuff. He driving around, dropping her property everywhere. He even goes on to say one of the conversations was like an hour. Ain't you at work? I think he said an hour. This is wild, y'all. His testimony is actually the wildest. Like, for real. Yes, starting with the grandma all the way down. Exactly. Oh my God. They all in cahoots, man. They all in cahoots. They must have had a conversation. I do know that he had a conversation with Jarvis's sister, because during her testimony, she actually went to the shop and had a conversation with him after all of this stuff hit. Do you think there was some mental issues going on? Because they said that grandma had her first child at 11 or something like that. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that is anybody that got the stuff going on and condone it got to have something mentally going on with them, trauma or something. Like, I believe that most people that's involved in this kind of stuff, they had their own childhood trauma that they didn't deal with. And it definitely ain't going to excuse them, though. But yep, it's like I was just saying that it's like something with Jarvis with the age 13. This allegedly happened to him with child at the age of 13. Naziah was 13, Shannon 31, Latricia 31. I don't know how old the other ones is. It was word that Naziah mom allegedly had a child at 13. Then I heard the granny at 13, but then I heard 11 too. So it's still that number 13 sticks out a lot in this case. Very odd. But yeah, they was all slow, Joe's obviously. That's what he targeted when he was talking to the one female that I mentioned. When he even told her that she was the sweet tart word. I can't say the other word, you know, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Because those are the type that he looked for.
No reason for him to call me if he was standing right next to me.
Ain't no reason for him to call you if he wasn't standing next to you 4 times, unless y'all plotting. You see the judge vigorously writing up there, though. You see the key points.
No response. I don't think he's speculating, so not putting police.
You asked the question. Re-ask the question.
Yes. So you said that you don't believe he was at work because he would call you, or he calls you so often?
He called me. We had a 30-minute conversation on one account, and then we had another conversation for about 15 minutes. So
that.
Well, that's 45 minutes right there. And the other 2 conversations, sir?
Makes you believe in your mind that.
What y'all think they was talking about? I'm going to let this play a little bit too without stopping it. So, okay, we got 22 votes now. And do you believe Jarvis was paying? I'm surprised that so many believe that. And so I'm happy she asked that question because my mind did not go there. His lame self. But maybe he could have been paying the granny or something. Because notice every time, when a judge asked Shannon about them going to the shop, she's like, yeah, and I would ask my mom about Naziah going or whatnot. Like, them going to the shop should have never been a conversation, especially after what happened in 2022. You know what I'm saying? That is documented. And the fact that Shannon admitted on live television to Roxy that she bought 2 pregnancy tests, she's done for. On the stand, she didn't know nothing about nothing. That came straight out of her mouth. Oh man, it's gonna go down, y'all. That is why. So another thing I see that some people were saying that they didn't like how Roxy was talking to her and how she got soft or whatever. I don't think that. I think that you know how the cops play good cop, bad cop, but at the same time, that is her family. And you know how you love your family, but you can hate them. So you might be a little sensitive to them. It could have been a little bit of that, or she could have been the soft spot for her to fall to in the chaotic house. You know, where everybody else yelling. Mark came in, bam, he came in like he came in, and then Roxy was able to be the good cop type of thing. Miss V, did the trial start yesterday? I can't remember the date. I think they said March 7th. So in a couple days, but it's not gonna be the trial. It's gonna be planning, I guess. Like they usually do jury selection and all of that stuff. But it's still gonna be the start of it, I guess. I'm hoping that they don't change it. And before we get off, I'm gonna see if I can see if they got any updates, which I didn't see anything earlier, but I'll look anyway. But yeah, so I think that it could have been a good cop, bad cop type of thing. She actually got her to admit it, So to me, she did a good job. But to other people, they was like, some people wanted to see her fight. Like what? That would have been dumb. because you really would have never got that out of her. And they had no proof of that until that conversation. We got it loud and clear on a short. You could hear her clearly say that. Hell, she bought herself one. Also, I think. Oh, and another thing, she was allegedly pregnant again, Shannon. But she lost the baby, allegedly. Because I remember on the interview that Jernell and them did, she said that she was like, she got 5 kids, almost 6. Almost has 6 or something to that effect. And then later I heard that she lost it. So yeah.
What's next shot misleading?
What's the question first?
That's based on those conversations. In his mind, to him, that means that Mr. Buck was not at the shop with him. I don't think that's leading.
It's stating a conclusion.
He said he already stated that he wasn't at the shop. We didn't do it. So I'll overrule.
Thank you. You can answer.
One more time, I'm sorry.
Sorry. So based on the length of those phone calls and the times of them, did that make you believe that Mr. Bucks was not at the shop?
Right.
So the auntie's testimony, she said that they was short $70. So they had to get Jarvis's cash app and all that stuff the next day and pay that money. And that was one of the odd things of her testimony. I'm like, I'm gonna pull that up too. I need to hurry this along. What time is it? Oh, it's still early. But I'll pull it up so y'all could hear what she said. Or y'all could just go watch it. Because I'm giving commentary in that too. Let me know if y'all want me to pull it up.
Did Jarvis Butts ever mention to you about his niece being missing?
No.
He never mentioned to her.
Mr. Butts, aside from that jail call that we played, since turning himself in?
No.
So he talked to him 4 times. The very next day, he never mentioned to him anything about that. But you know, they talk about everything on the cross. We gonna hear that. They talk about women. They talk about this and that. They share women, all that. They go to jail in between going to jail, come back and get back together. You know what I'm saying? They like some old bosom buddies. Butt buddies.
And do you know someone, do you know any of Jarvis's siblings?
Yes.
And which sibling do you know?
Playboy.
I met his brother and I met his sister.
You talked to his sister.
Here it is.
Well, start that. Do you remember would his sister ever come to the shop?
Sporadically.
Sporadically, okay. And are there times that you talk to her?
Yes.
Okay. And you talk to her about Jarvis's niece being missing?
After the police questioned me, I believe she came up there and we spoke about it, yes.
See? She came up there and talked about it. So, Miss V, I feel where you're coming from as far as Roxy humbling herself once she saw Shannon, but that's why you shouldn't sell wolf tickets. Knowing situations can change at any time. Am I right? Well, yeah. I mean, did she ever say that she was going to, like, it was on site when she seen her? Because, I mean, I never seen her say that. But I do know that she was talking real tough to her. You know, she was yelling at her and talking real tough to her, trying to get her to respond. And I felt like her energy was appropriate then, because if you want somebody to do something okay, now this is just my opinion. she was on the spot, right? Shannon was in the chat. They knew as soon as Shannon popped up, because they was on Facebook. And on Facebook, you can see when people are watching. So the way that Roxy was coming at her in the chat, I thought it was appropriate because she put her on the spot and she called her names and stuff. And that actually motivated her to come up there. Because when you do that in front of a group of people, then then you feel obligated to come and defend yourself. But in a situation at the house, when you're trying to get information out of her, when you're trying to find out if ZIYAH, that the information that you did get, she would have never got that without aggression. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said maybe she was playing a good cop, bad cop situation, because to me, it was appropriate. Like you wasn't gonna go to her. So B, was she pregnant or not? Like she ain't about to. She about to fold up like she did with Mark, she just started walking away. But then Roxy had her off in the corner whispering, making her feel safe to tell. And I mean, if it wouldn't have been for that, we wouldn't. I believe that that incident alone, she gonna get in trouble for that. Unless they come up with some technicality or something, which they can't because she didn't coerce her into telling that. So the thing is, like, people, you might not like her approach, but she still got the answer. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. I apologize. I was wiping my phone and kicked myself out. Oh, dang, shoot. I said a lot. Just hit the replay. I mean, go back a little bit because I allow you to be able to go back on my live. So just take it back a little bit and you'll hear what I said. I'm going to let this play. I'm going to read some more comments in a minute. No, really, you can just take it back. 5 seconds, 2 seconds. It won't take long. I want to hear her say that they left in King's truck. Okay, she specifically said it was King's truck.
And
okay.
Mr. Wright, I'd asked you earlier about if you'd seen Mr. Butts in the courtroom, so that you couldn't see him.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm surprised she waited to this long. Well, she a different person. She's gonna ask him. Now you looking at this woman, you don't see him right there. So she got to show him a picture.
Showing you People's Proposed Exhibit 9.
And he got a haircut. Y'all see that picture?
Yes.
Now for the admission of.
I ain't go back enough, but you can see it. Let me let her go. So it ain't like you can't recognize the dude with the haircut or nothing like that with the mask on.
Showing you People's Proposed Exhibit.
He looked just like he looked. He just got a blue mask on his face. He ain't got no shirt on or nothing.
Can you tell me if you recognize that photo?
Yes.
And who is it in that photo?
Jarvis.
Okay. That's Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay. Now for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 9.
And I thought that was odd that they didn't make him identify him before. Earlier, he said no, he didn't see him, and they never said, okay, they didn't make him recognize him or, point him out. That was weird. To just now.
Mr. Wright, I kind of want to direct your attention back to People's Proposed Exhibit 3, People's Exhibit 3, I'm sorry. Can you see it from here where I'm holding it?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know who this person in this photo is now?
Yes.
Okay. And who do you know her as now?
ZIYAH.
Yeah,
The next time that
he
you
is
see
hiding.
Jarvis Butts after January 9th, 2024, do you see any injuries on him?
No, I don't believe I've seen it.
Ready for the judge.
Okay, Roxy.
So I seen a video that Roxy put out that said that she didn't mean to say her niece. She said she didn't know that was an accident. She said she ain't perfect. As a matter of fact, the other day I ran across that. I think I screenshot it. But she was like, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to say niece or whatever. I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Let me see. Right here, it says, yes, I said niece. I don't know the gender of the unborn child. It was an honest mistake. There's too many nieces. It was second nature to say. So she corrected herself. Let me see if I could put that in here. Oh, and then it says, I am human. We make mistakes. I can own up to mine.
You said that, I believe, in your testimony that you have known Mr. Butts since about 2018, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And you said you met at Frank's, the shop that you looked at.
That's correct.
And you said you guys worked together at Frank's for about 2 years?
That's correct.
And so that means in about 2020, you opened up the shop on Connor?
No, in 2021, I went to prison.
Okay.
So that's why we didn't work together for that period of time.
And so you came back
I came back and we went back to the same thing.
at Frank's?
Yes.
Wait, when did she say? When did he say?
That was 2020.
Hold on, let me pay attention.
The two of you at Frank's together? Were you the two of you at Frank's together?
One, I went to prison.
Okay.
So that's why we didn't work together. No, and
you said you guys worked together at Frank's for about 2 years?
Yeah.
In your testimony that you have known Mr. Butts since about 2018, is that right?
that's correct.
Okay. And you said you met at Frank's, the shop that you looked at.
That's correct.
Now, did she say 18 or 19? I didn't hear her good. Hold on.
You said that, I believe, in your testimony that you have known Mr. Butts since about 2018, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. You said
I tried to read her lips. 18 or 19? Which one did she say, y'all?
you met at Frank's, the shop that you looked at.
That's correct.
And you said
Okay, she said 18. Okay. And by 19, he was sleeping with his baby mama. Like, what? Okay, that's what I'm asking for.
you guys worked together at Frank's for about 2 years?
That's correct.
And so that means in about 2020, you opened up the shop on Connor? Is that-
No, in 2021, I went to prison.
Okay.
So that's why we didn't work together for that period of time.
And so you came back
I came back and we went back to the same thing.
at Frank's?
Yes.
And then what year was that?
That was 2023.
Okay. And so then how long after you came back were you, the two of you at Frank's together?
Maybe a few months to maybe like the middle of the year. So maybe around either June. It was before summer, so maybe around April. It was still a little cold outside.
So they literally was just getting together in this shop in 2023.
So like early spring
Yeah.
of 2023 is when you said that you think that you opened up the shop at 9
Yes, it could have been earlier than that, but yes, around about.
And so you became business partners?
Yes.
50-50 business partners?
Yes.
Okay. You can also consider Mr. Butts a friend at that point.
Yes.
As far as the business arrangement, you said it was a 50-50 split. Did you split it every day at the end of the day? Or?
Every day at the end of the day.
Now back around the beginning of 2024, maybe the end of 2023, were you seeing a woman in Clinton Township?
A woman in Clinton Township?
Yes. A friend of a woman named Shannon Harris?
In 24?
Yes.
No.
Or ever?
Yes.
When were you seeing her?
Oh, did she just say a friend of a woman named Shannon Harris? A friend of a woman? Hold on.
The beginning of 2024, maybe the end of 2023, were you seeing a woman in Clinton Township?
A woman in Clinton Township?
Yes. A friend of a woman named Shannon Harris?
In 24?
Yes.
No.
Or ever?
Yes.
Maybe she said a friend or a woman named Shannon Harris. Anyway, the follow-up question made me think it was Shannon. So I think she said a friend. She tried to not say her name at first, then she did maybe.
When were you seeing her?
It probably was 2000 and maybe 19 or 20.
2019. So okay, now I couldn't understand it, but if they met in 2018 or 2019, and by 2019 they sharing already. Hold on.
So before you went?
Before I went to prison.
Okay.
Before he went to
Did
prison.
you and Mr. Butts ever have a falling out about that?
No.
No. But he sure had a falling out with the guy that was trying to talk to his daughter. So, yeah. Are we, a friend or is what I heard? Right. She said a friend or then she said her name. So I think it was Shannon because of the follow-up question. Shout out to Shank Rock in the building. How you doing, Shank Rock? Y'all check him out too. He is following the case over on his channel too. So yeah, did I hear that right? That's what I've been following the whole time though, that it was Shannon that they was talking about. But the way that she asked that question, I think that it is Shannon.
In 24?
Yes.
No.
Or ever?
Yes.
Now back around the beginning of 2024, maybe the end of 2023, were you seeing a woman in Clinton Township?
A woman in Clinton Township?
Yes. A friend of a woman named Shannon Harris?
In 24?
Yes.
No.
Or ever?
Yes.
When were you seeing her?
It probably was 2000 and maybe 19 or 20.
So before you went?
Before I went to prison.
Okay. Did you and Mr. Butts ever have a falling out about that?
No.
Now I'm wondering if I heard her say a friend of, but I didn't know if she was correcting herself when she said that. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. Jess be the light too. Welcome to my channel. Thank you. And thank y'all to everybody that hit the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. Let me keep going.
Now you and Mr. Butts, did you talk about your personal lives?
Sometimes, yes.
You spent good days at work together, right?
Right.
So presumably it came up.
Of course.
Talk about girlfriends.
Of course.
Did women often come to the shop looking for Mr. Butts?
Sporadically.
Did he talk to you about the various women that he would be seeing? Or juggling, maybe?
That happened.
It sometimes cause trauma in the shop.
It happens.
When we come up and confront Mr. Butts,
It happens.
maybe about other
They talk about everything. Everything happens.
women that he was seeing.
Happens.
Did you ever feel like that was affecting the business?
Not at Frank's.
What about at the business that you owned in Connor?
No, it didn't happen as much there.
Didn't happen as much in Connor?
Right.
Okay. Now, sometime, I guess, while the two of you were working together, you had a friend that was, I guess, talking to or trying to date one of Mr. Butt's daughters. Is that correct?
That happened.
The daughter was 21, 22.
She was somewhere around there. I'm not 100% certain, but yeah, around that age, 20, 21, 22.
And that caused an issue for Mr. Butts.
It did.
He got pretty upset with his friend.
It did. I was in prison at the time, so, but yes, I was involved directly.
Did you ever hear about an altercation that happened between the two of them?
Some kind of altercation did occur, yes.
I would love to hear that jail call then, since he was in prison when it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you want to box somebody about that, but not about your baby mama. Interesting.
Was it your impression that Mr. Butts was pretty protective of her?
Yeah,
Based on that?
based on that.
Do you know how many children Mr. Butts has?
13?
There's the 13. There's the number 13 again, y'all. And then, you know, you sitting up here got a problem with somebody messing with your 21-year-old, but you can flip the age and it's okay. The nerve of this dude. Like, what? She was grown. Free game. Wow. I mean, see, I don't even know how this dude, you know what? Yeah, I do. Because what people like him do, they look for females who where the fathers are not involved at all. That's how they're able to get around it. And then they don't tell anybody. They just let it happen. Or get one that's strung out on something where she falling out mid-sentence. She passing out. I read them CPS reports the other day. Whooping your own child because she told, but you want to fight somebody about a 21-year-old daughter. Get out of here.
And you said that some of them would come to the shop.
Yes, that happened.
You're familiar with them?
Yeah.
And I can ask you, not all of them, but at the shop in Connor, you said his sons would come,
His son will come sometimes and stay today with us.
and his daughter.
She'll come sometimes and stay today with us.
And what's her name? Do you recall?
Now I don't want to misname it.
I noticed how he liked to talk about his kids coming, but not ZIYAH when she was the main one. Get out of here.
I think it's someone with a J or something like that, though, but I'm not 100%.
You know her name.
Was she like a teenager?
He has a teenager. She come up there sometime, but not really the littlest one, maybe 9, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there.
Okay. And then his niece would also come?
Yes.
Would she come typically with his own children?
When I first met her, yes, that's how I met her with his daughter. She would always come with his daughter. They would come up there sometimes to get air in their tires. Maybe money, you know, just typical kid stuff.
Yeah, you notice he ain't said nothing about working at the shop. I'm just saying, if they was working at the shop, that would have been the first thing you said. And he did not say that she was there with the kids. He just kept saying his son and daughter. The last person that crossed him, like, was asking him. So he lying. They would just come up there, get air in the tire, typical cars, typical kid stuff. Where the working at coming in at then? Only when she asked.
Children?
When I first met her, yes, that's how I met her with his daughter. She would always come with his daughter. They would come up there sometimes to get air in their tires. Maybe money, just typical kid stuff.
Did he ever, or did the two of you ever have them like doing chores around the shop?
Sometimes.
Did Mr. Butts talk to you about his children?
Yes.
Did you talk about spending time with them?
Yes, I believe he lived with the majority of them.
And you said that, you mentioned Tasha, she's one of the mothers of some of his children,
Yes.
correct? Is that who he was living with at the time?
No, I don't believe so.
He was living with an angel, and yeah, she do got kids by him. I don't know how many. But at the time of the CPS report, it was one.
Now you
So-
said, I believe in your testimony that you had been.
Make that make sense, y'all. The CPS report came from an angel. The name that Shannon Jones said was Angel. And Shannon back in, I think it said, it was I forgot what year, so I ain't gonna even try to say it, but I'll look. She was arguing with an angel. So I think it's the same angel. That's with a devil.
Been to Ypsilanti
Allegedly.
twice with Mr. Butts. Is that-
Or 3 times, one of the.
It possibly could have been 3.
It could have possibly been 3. I'm not 100% certain.
Now, one of the times that his niece was at the shop was, you said, on January the 9th.
First time I seen her by herself, yes.
That's because y'all picked her up on Harper.
Yes.
Now
Did
he
Mr. Butts seem surprised that he saw her?
I'm not sure. I couldn't really, we was riding. I wasn't really paying attention to his expression. He just said, "Hey, there go my niece." I didn't see her, so he pointed her out to me.
So he tried to make it seem like that was her first time by herself at the shop ever. And we know that's not true.
And at that time, you only knew
We got a text message that says that ain't true.
her as his niece, correct?
Yes.
You didn't have any idea what her name was at that time.
No.
And in fact, the reason you learned her name was when you identified that picture.
We actually got a couple text messages that said at the shop or the basement, your pick, your choice. Then it was, are you picking up her first or whatever, or are you picking her up too? No, I was never picking her up. Talking about his own. No, I was never picking her up. You know you don't want me to pick her up anyway. And she was like, nah, it's my this, it's my that. She be doing too much. So that told me something right there. That when he get them together, that's what they doing. And she was starting to feel a way about her. Because she was starting to take over, allegedly. That's just what I got out of that. Everything is alleged.
That was just shown to you, and the police told you what her name was. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Now, in the time that you were at the shop on the 9th with Mr. Butts and his niece, did you see any inappropriate behavior or anything that made you raise your eyebrows between the two of them?
No.
What about any of the other times that his niece would have been there at the shop? Did you ever see any behavior that made you question or thought it was inappropriate?
I can't say I have.
He can't say he have, but have you? Ain't no way he didn't, man. That little shop. Allegedly.
Now, the 3 of you rode back from Ypsilanti on January 9th. That was your testimony, right?
Yes.
Was there any conversation between Mr. Butts and his niece in the car?
There was no conversation between really nobody. I had the music on.
And I'm going to back up to earlier in the day when the 3 of you came to the shop the first time after you picked her up on Harper.
I agree, Sherry.
You said that she pretty much stayed in Mr. Butts' car the whole time?
Yes.
She said she was on her phone.
Yes.
Did you ever leave the shop at all after that, before you guys went to Ypsilanti?
Maybe in the gas station.
So not really, just the attached gas station?
Yeah, maybe to the gas station. I'm not sure if I actually physically left the building. I'm not sure.
Would it have been for more than like 5 or 10 minutes?
If I ever left, no, maybe to use the bathroom, so maybe 10 minutes tops if I had to leave.
You never went out to grab parts at any place that you can recall?
Not that I can recall.
And I do know that they collected a lot of evidence from the shop too. So they trying to see, was he there the whole time? So, And we know the shop is the I mean the gas station is the shop. Okay, it's just a wall and a door between them. It's like a connected suite at a hotel. That's a door, and they in the dang on store. Gas station.
Now, after January 9th, what was the next time you said that you saw Mr. Butts?
The 11th.
The 11th. Okay, he was not at work on the 10th?
No.
Okay. Were you there on time on the 10th, do you recall?
I'm never on time.
He's never on time. And another thing I just wanted to point out is that ZIYAH sat in the car the whole time when she was there with them, which is odd to me if she's always at the shop. So to me, that tells me that she don't be in the shop when they working on cars. It'd be after hours that she probably be at the shop. It could be. You know what I'm saying? Because why wasn't she inside the shop? Why sit in the car on a cold day running out gas? That's spending money. That's wasting gas. That's wasting money. You work at the shop, right? Shouldn't she have been comfortable to sit in the shop if that's what she do all the time? That part didn't make sense to me at all.
What time did you come in on the 10th?
Probably about 8:40. I go to the gym, so we open at 8, but I'm never there at 8. So I probably got there maybe 8:49.
And on the 10th, were you the one that opened the shop?
Yes.
Now, you were aware at that time that Mr. Butts was supposed to turn himself in and serve a jail sentence in William County Jail. That's correct?
Yes, I am.
So yeah, he did say 8:45. The Jaguar arrived about 9 o'clock. And he just said he just told her pretty much the same thing. But the 10th, he opened the shop because Jarvis wasn't there.
Obviously, because he was going to have to leave the business for a while.
Correct.
Okay. And you actually went to the courthouse on the day he turned himself in to support him, right?
Yes, I was there.
And he was going to be serving time on a gun possession charge, is that right?
That's correct.
If you know.
That's correct.
Okay. And because you were kind of paying attention to what was happening, you understood that the court date had gotten changed a few times?
Yeah, he told me that it had changed. So I believe he was supposed to get sentenced on the 9th, but it got pushed back to February the 7th. So I learned that through him. I didn't go to court with him that time, but just when he got sentenced, I went to court with him that time.
But they didn't not. I mean, he actually requested it to be pushed back, and they gave it to him with his record.
Are you familiar with any court dates that he had out in Clinton Township around that time?
He did say he had something going on with his daughter, I believe. I believe it was domestic with his daughter of some sort.
See, and that had to been what they got put out of Clinton Township for, because remember, Janelle said that was her apartment that she let Shannon live in, and she lost it due to Jarvis's shenanigans, but she never said what those shenanigans were. And y'all heard what he just said. And we know that those reports was too in 2022. If I'm not mistaken, they moved from there in 2022 and moved in with her mother. So that had to be the same thing. But I don't know for fact. But I mean, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So yeah, I was familiar with that, I believe.
Was he going to court for that at that same time?
Around about, I believe it was supposed to be, yes.
Now you been involved.
Or maybe not though, because those are the same reports that they saying that they didn't do nothing about. And he's saying that he was going to court for something. So I'm not sure, y'all, about that. I'm not sure about what the incident was that got them put out of the house in Clinton Township. I mean, I could assume, but I don't like to do that. So I'm not sure.
Because at some point you became aware that the Detroit police wanted to talk to you back in February.
They came to the shop and picked me up.
Okay, they actually took you down.
To headquarters.
Okay, and that was the first time on February 13th, is that right?
That was February 13th.
So Jarvis was locked up February 7th, and by the 13th, they was questioning him.
For Valentine's.
Then you said you spoke with them again a couple days later.
Yes, I believe the first time I spoke with him, I was still on tether, so it had to be sometime after I was on tether. Yes.
And then you spoke with them again in March, right?
Yes.
And was that a phone conversation?
No, all of our conversations was via person.
So they talked to him before tethering off after. So that means before March and after March, because that's when he got taken off. But the other thing that I was pointing out the other day is that Shannon made 4 posts when ZIYAH went missing, and she didn't make those posts until January 11th, even though ZIYAH went missing on the 9th. And the January 11th is the same day that they went and pressed charges on the girl that she got into that scuffle with on November. I think it was November 2nd of 2023. They went and pressed charges on her. She was locked up and they couldn't proceed because ZIYAH was missing. And they reported ZIYAH as a runaway. That's why it took to the school. That's what they did, and it wasn't taken that seriously. That's what I was told. I don't have no paperwork to say that that's exactly what it was, but the fact that the judge pointed that out and said, you know, she said something about her being a runaway and she never even leaving home or never being that. So they was trying to paint her out to be a person that she wasn't. And then the other post, it was 3 posts made on the 11th, which is the same. And within one of those posts is the conversation between her and Roxy, where she's talking about Otter Drive in Balfour, where she's talking about Tuda is sneaky as shit, and she with this guy and all that stuff, throwing it off. And then on the 14th, she posted another one about her being missing. And the point of me bringing this up is that every time she posted something, it was something significant that happened in the case, because he got questioned on February 13th, and I think Jarvis was questioned on the 14th. And so those was the motivation of her posting. Then we got Marquita that just out the blue posted that she was spotted at gas stations and liquor stores. I showed all this in my other video, the number 16, I think it was. And then we got the testimony of not the testimony, but the brother or the Marquita's boyfriend statements when they went to the house and all of that stuff. But before Mark then went to the house, he was on a podcast, and on that podcast he was saying that, you know, Marquita had just out the blue posted that post right after he had asked, like, why don't you bring some flyers on this side of town, because they hadn't passed nothing out and they hadn't been out there looking or anything. And he said she never brought him the flyers or nothing to pass out over there. And they never left the dang house, and just out the blue she gonna post that. And he was just like looking at her like, what? Like, and I think he said he questioned her, or he just looked at her weird or something. And that's pretty much what made him, some of those actions is what made him start looking at them different. If I'm right, Miss V, didn't Shannon have ZIYAH? Yep. Wait, let me move that because YouTube be tripping, because the girl was picking with one of her daughters. Now, I didn't know, I hadn't heard what it was about, but I did hear that she took her to do it. And yeah, but why not report it in November? So they was trying, there was another throw off. They trying to make it seem like that girl had something to do with her disappearance. Then it was allegedly Vari allegedly was involved with somebody. And they was like, well, you mess with my sister or something, then we can mess with yours or something weird like that. Mark D talked about it on his channel, but that wasn't true either. And then Vari actually, when he called in to Mark D, the first time he called in, he was mad about that. He was like, I ain't in no gang. That ain't true. None of that. So he cleared his name on that. Some of Mark D's posts in the beginning, it was just, he was going off of what people was telling him and scenarios and stuff like that. So Vari cleared himself up. They lightweight got into an argument a little bit, but then Mark kind of chilled and realized he was 17 and he just gave him grace. Peace, everyone. How you doing, Queen's Treasure? A Queen's Treasure, Florida in the building. Welcome in. Thank you for dropping down. Please subscribe to the channel. And smack the thumbs up, too, if y'all didn't get a chance to yet. But thank y'all so much for being here. But I have a entire playlist. This one is 17. And I have videos and shorts, just depending on what type of content you like. We got it for you here. Let me see if I got. Yeah, I took everything out of here. Please subscribe and press that notification bell and thumbs up. Please subscribe and thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. For sharing. For sharing. For sharing me. Thank you for so much. Thank you for sharing.
You also speak with the police
Yes.
and the prosecutors.
I don't know if a prosecutor, but yes, I believe she.
As far as you can remember.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in February, when you were talking to the police, by that time, had you seen anything on the news or on social media about who you later learned was Mr. Butt's niece?
No.
So at the time you were interviewed by the police, you didn't know anything about?
No.
Okay. And at the time that you were talking to the police, while you were on tether in February, you were on tether because you were on parole, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you had about 3 weeks left on parole at that point.
Not 3 weeks in February.
Yes.
I had 3 weeks left on tether. I got off actual parole in May.
Okay. So the tether was coming off, but you were still going to have to report.
3 more months
Okay.
after the tether came off.
And in February, I believe it was the second conversation that you had with a detective, presumably, you and the officer or the detective spoke about the tether, right? Do you recall that?
I believe so, yes.
Because you were concerned every time you would go somewhere, you would be late, you were very
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah.
being home on time.
Right.
And in fact, he actually said, hey, we'll take care of you if anything pops up, right?
He said, I'll talk to your PO, so you're fine.
Okay. And he also kind of warned you that you didn't want to get somebody upset about the way you were answering these questions and have somebody feel some kind of way about you. Do you recall him saying that to you?
He may have said something to that extent. I'm not sure though. This is the first conversation or the second you asked me
The
about?
second, right at the top of the conversation.
I can't really recall every word. I know they were a little agitated. I was a little agitated. It was a lot going on, so maybe.
It's possible that conversation.
It's possible.
Did you understand any of his statements while you're talking to him to mean that the police wanted you to give answers, and if you didn't give answers, that they could mess with your parole or your tether status?
Also speculation,
It goes to his state of mind.
but he doesn't know what happened.
It's about what he believes might happen and could impact what he said.
Speculation is crazy as far as what they actually asking.
Was it your understanding that if you didn't give certain answers, that the police might impact your parole or your tether status? Was that a concern of yours?
I mean, it was already affecting my tether, so I wasn't really, you know what I mean, concerned about how he placed his questions upon me. No. So I mean, more of the concern was my being picked up by the police. Police contact is a violation of parole within itself. So I was violated for the police contact, regardless to whatever he was saying. You get what I mean? So no, I don't believe it impacted anything at all, actually.
But your parole wasn't actually revoked because they took you to the station and interviewed you, right?
No.
Now we talked a little bit about this a few minutes ago. Mr. Butts was juggling a few different women during the time you knew him.
Yes.
And it was hard to keep up with all his baby mamas.
I mean, it wasn't my job, so yeah.
And with these that weren't his baby mamas.
Right.
Did you get the impression from Mr. Butts that he didn't want these women to know about each other?
Of course.
And a woman named Tasha was one of Mr. Butts' ladies.
Yes.
And that was one of his baby mamas.
Yes. To my belief, yes.
So there was some discussion about a phone call between you and Mr. Butts while he was at the jail about his phone, right?
Yes.
And after that phone conversation, Tasha actually came into the shop to get some work done on the car.
Yes, she came to get a oil change in a headlight.
And that's when you went and kind of looked for the phone.
Yes.
Now, you didn't really want Tasha to know that you were looking for the phone, right?
Of course not.
And the reason for that was?
She's gonna wonder why I'm looking for a phone.
And was it your impression that Mr. Butts was afraid it would reveal that he was talking to other women?
Of course.
And so you're trying to help him keep the peace?
Of course.
Yes. I think the testimony was on the 9th, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an issue during the day. Mr. Butts had his Escalade there, is that correct?
Yes.
And he had run out of gas.
Yes.
And he had to get gas, is that right?
That's correct.
At some point you pushed him to the, or helped push the Escalade to a gas pump.
Yes.
Do you recall leaving with him that night and going and getting gas together?
For his truck, or what we saying? Or for like a gas can? What do you?
Well, either one. Did you all leave the shop to, and perhaps you in your vehicle and he in his vehicle and end up at a gas station
No.
on the 9th?
No.
You don't have any recollection of that?
I don't remember that. No.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Can you redirect? Okay. Mr. Wright, you are going to testify.
Thank
you.
Okay, that is it for King. That would I had to step away for a second. But what do y'all think about his testimony? I know that y'all seen it already, but it's different. You hear something different when you actually go through it like that. So it's something how King gets amnesia at certain points. Oh yeah, certain questions he don't want to answer. You believe Mark D helped Vari get a job? Yep, he did help him get a job with some lawn care guys that work in the winter and summer. I don't know if he's working it or not. And I know he took him to the job the first day too. King said thank you real fast. Yeah, like let me get up out of here. Let me see. So I'll pull up the video that I'm talking about with the auntie's testimony, especially since that is on my thumbnail. So give me a second to pull it up, y'all. Please take this time to smack the thumbs up. I don't even, let me see, how many thumbs up do I have? I can't even tell right now. We got 51 thumbs up. Can y'all help us get the 72 thumbs up? It's 72 in the building. Please smack the thumbs up by double tapping the screen or hitting the 3 dots on the side. Just double check to make sure your thumbs up stuck. And I'll be right back. I'm just pulling up this video. Okay, I got it. Oh, y'all, my bad. I thought this was up.
They knew.
I am so
They
sorry.
sat there, we talked about the car and stuff. We talked about my nephew. Cordell was trying.
My bad. I did not know this was not up, y'all. Wow. Thank y'all for the people that's still here.
9 o'clock. I assessed the Jaguar. Jarvis left a moment.
You guys finished the Jaguar and there's a leave.
So let's keep in mind King's testimony while we listen at hers, and I'll stop and point out some points, but I'm stopping it anyway a little bit in this video.
30 or somewhere around there.
Talation Moore.
Do you know someone by the name of Cordell, Wright?
He is the father of my nephew, my 17-year-old nephew.
17.
It's my mother's car. He worked on her car.
Okay, and what kind of car does your mother drive?
A red Jaguar.
Going back to January of 2024, where were you living at the time? Not your specific address, just the city.
Ypsilanti.
And who else lived with you in Ypsilanti?
My mom and my
Did Mr.
son.
Wright ever come out to Ypsilanti to fix your mom's car, her Jaguar?
Yes.
How often did he do that?
Like a couple times, at least 2 times.
And was that around January of 2024?
That was the last time.
In January was the
Yes.
last time. And when he would go out there, would he bring anyone with him?
This last time he did.
What about
For the last 2 times? So before January 9th, him and someone else came, and then on January 9th, they both came.
Okay. And the person that he brought with him, do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing he's wearing?
Well, I can only see the top of his head right now.
Are you 100% sure that it's that person? Could we have everyone remove their masks, Judge, just for a brief moment?
If everyone in the courtroom could remove their mask if they have one on, please.
Ms. Moore, do you see the person that Mr. Wright brought with him?
I
You
do.
said Mr. Butts came out how many times with Cordell?
At least 2. So this last time in January and the time before that.
Okay, the time before that, who was anyone else with the 2 of them?
No.
And what were they doing the time before January 9th?
Working on the car. We I can't remember. It was a couple of things they had to fix on it. And they came out and did it in the driveway. And
Sorry.
no. I was just gonna say the last time when we got the car towed to the shop and they drove it back up.
Okay. And so in between the most recent time before January 9th, the Jaguar, correct me if I'm wrong, was towed to Detroit?
Correct.
Okay. And then on January 9th, did you see that red Jaguar again?
Yeah.
Okay. Who brought that Jaguar out to Ypsilanti?
Cordell and Jarvis.
Okay. And was anyone else with Cordell and Jarvis?
Yes.
Who is that person?
When the detectives came to the house to question us, that's when I found out who she was.
Now, I don't know if I got the part where she talks about what they came out there in, because what we want to hear is in her King's testimony, he said he was driving his 300, but Joy said that the sister said that they were in a truck. But I don't know because I clipped this video, but I wanted to play this first, hoping that I kept it in there. I don't know.
Now, let's talk about when they came out on the 9th, January 2024. What was that interaction? How long did it last? Can you kind of take me through start to finish their visit and delivering the car?
So they came, they delivered the car. They were talking to my mom about what was wrong, gave her the invoice. It was just like a regular day when they came in, they sat on the couch for a few minutes. Ms. ZIYAH was sitting in the chair by the TV. We spoke, very brief. Asked if she wanted something to drink. She didn't. My 6-year-old son ran up to her, the dog. It was just.
I'm thinking about the route that it would have took them. Now, before I say that, actually, so he's saying that she left and went and got money and all of that. I don't think I heard that in her testimony. And she's also going to tell us how long they was there. Remember, King said they was there 15 minutes to get from that house back to Detroit. And she could be anywhere along that stretch. Because ain't nobody see her no more after that. Besides, after this woman, after she left that house, didn't no other person see her. So they could have just, as soon as they left there, they could have got rid of her. And then came back in town without her and stuff, which is why they were searching all out in Ypsilanti and everywhere else, because they following his phone pings. And And the other thing about them phone pings, he could have just left his phone sitting somewhere and came back and got it. He really could have. Because the phone is the tracking device. He could have had his phone sitting. Seriously. I mean, they didn't have no cameras. They don't know if he did that or not. He was out there for 2 hours at that river, and they ain't find her out there. So what was he doing? Is she buried somewhere? Is she weighed down somewhere? They said they searched the water. So I don't know. What y'all think? Truly feel like he did something shady with that phone. And the fact that they asked Shannon, like, is Jarvis known to like go one place and walk, like to have somebody else pick him up? Is he known to do that? Because they knew. They knew.
They sat there, we talked about the car and stuff. We talked about my nephew. Cordell was trying to wait till my nephew got out of school, but because he was on tether, they had to leave. So they didn't get to stay long enough for my nephew to come.
And your nephew would be Cordell's son.
Cordell.
When they left, whose car were they leaving in?
Cordell's truck.
And all three of them were in the same car?
Yes.
And you
There it is. She absolutely said they was in Cordell's truck, and Cordell said that he was in his 300. Cordell said he was in his 300, and Jarvis drove the Jaguar with ZIYAH in the passenger seat. This woman just said they was in a truck. Thanks, Joy.
You said that they were delivering the Jaguar to your mom or to your house, right?
Yes.
Did you see them pull up? Do you know what the driving and seating arrangements was?
I do not.
And you said that there was a time prior to January 9th that he came up and worked on the car, correct?
Correct.
And you said that my client was with him that time.
Correct.
Do you recall when that was?
It had to be in the summer. I cannot recall the exact date.
But it was summer of 2023?
Yes.
And that was the first time you had seen Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Parky, when did you have the car towed down to his shop?
I think we had it towed maybe like the 4th or the 5th.
So it was there from the 4th.
Wait a minute. That was the other part. That part. I forgot about that, y'all. Now, that car had been sitting there from the 4th or the 5th. Why did they pick that day to actually do the car? Why do we think they picked that day to actually work on that car? That car had been there for days. Now we just heard King say that it arrived at 8:45. I mean 9 o'clock on the 9th. Now we finding out it been sitting there for days, but they wait to the 9th to get the water pump and get all that stuff and fix the car. Make it make sense. The math ain't mathing. On the 9th, same day he had court. Why would you pick that day?
So on January 9th,
interesting.
Parky, when did you have the car towed down to his shop?
I think we had it towed maybe like the 4th or the 5th.
So it was there from the 4th. Okay.
Bam, Joy.
And it was the 9th that they brought it back?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know approximately what time the car was brought back?
Had to be before 3:30 p.m.
Y'all hear that?
It was
No.
Then she gonna
It had
change
to
it
be
to 5.
before 5:30 because my sister got off work at 5:30. So
Now that's wild. Now we do know that Jarvis's sister was clocked there by phone records, and her phone record said that she was there from 3:45 to 5:16. So it would have had to been after 5:16 that they left the shop, but it sure wasn't at no 7:30 like Kong said. But yeah. Everything is not adding up, and the lies is being caught over here. Grand Rising Teresa, thank you for coming in. Yes, ma'am. In the truck. You can't drive two vehicles. Which was it? Or I mean, they'll be able to. They should be able to tell. Now, wouldn't a 300 have tracking? Ain't that car new enough that it got GPS in it? I'm not sure. Let's keep going. Shout out to BFF in the building, my HMIC, Grand Rising.
Yeah.
See? So how the hell, right there, she said 3 something, then she said 5. Either way, both of those days would have been light outside. This is the same day that what's his name, King, said that they left the shop at 7:30. His sister testified that she was at the shop that day because Jarvis had to fix her car, and she told the wrong time, but then her phone told the right time from 3:45 until 5:16. We going by the sister. The sister's time is calculated by her cell phone, so we can believe that. Either way, y'all, it ain't looking like they left the shop at 7:30 like Jarvis said. I mean, like King said they did, because it would have been dark already. And there's no way he would have made it to Ypsilanti 30-40 minutes there and back and got back by 9 for his tether. Welcome in. He actually said they got back before 9 because they had, I think he said about 8:45. He had time to split the money and all that. He said when he left, Jarvis was still there. He did not see him leave, although Jarvis's phone was clocked at a woman's house at 9 o'clock, which means that could not have been correct. You have these people lying. Somebody lying. Okay, let's go.
But you're not sure the exact time.
I'm not sure the exact time.
Was it light or dark outside?
It was still light out.
Still light out. It was still light out. So they couldn't have left at 7:30 like King. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the last video will show it, because I was showing King's testimony, what his sister, Jarvis's sister, said, and the times wasn't timing. They wasn't lining up at all. Y'all can call in if you want.
How long did this conversation last?
There's the number.
Like all of our conversation?
Right. How long were they there?
Probably between like 30, 45 minutes. Okay. Maybe an hour.
So after about an hour, they left. Correct. Was it light or dark?
It was still fairly light.
See, it was an hour and 15 minutes is a big difference, ain't it? It was still fairly light. Ain't no way. Her time, I believe her time's more than I believe what King said. So it was still light outside, ma'am. They had plenty of time to do what they was doing. That's why they was rushing. So they could do, allegedly, I mean, according to what she's saying, because King said they left the shop at 7:30 and he was running tight for his tether, and, you know, they had to split the money about 8:45, and by 9 o'clock he left. It's bullcrap. But please hit the thumbs up. I believe her timeline more than I do his. What y'all think? I believe it was earlier. I believe they left her house when it was still light outside. And I believe that Jarvis was at that Willem or address that he used at the hotel. Where was Naziah when he was at that other woman's house? I don't believe Naziah made it back from Ypsilanti. But I don't know. But I mean, why was he so adamant on her being with them that day? Because he knew they was going to drive a far distance and they wanted to take her somewhere far.
But was Cordell driving?
Correct.
And at some point, you were contacted, correct?
Correct.
When were you contacted?
Well, we were contacted by Cordell the next day because when we paid the invoice, it was $70 short. So we had to get Jarvis's Cash App to send the rest of the money. So that was the last part of the conversation.
Remember, because he said Jarvis didn't come to work on the 10th, but he talked to him a couple of times that day. They could have been talking about this too, or you know, how to get rid of something.
And then the detectives came.
You right?
I want to say the end of March.
So the end of March.
Months later, the detectives came asking her about it. This was January 9th, and they didn't come until like March. But how do you be $70 short? That was kind of odd. Like $70, I could see $1, but 70.
How far of a drive is it?
Way off.
Probably about 40 minutes.
Please smack the thumbs up and subscribe.
Because he said he had to be back in the house for his tether.
Okay, so did it seem like he was in a little bit of a rush to get back, or he was cutting in close maybe with that drive, 40 minutes?
No, I think he had whatever he needed to do, and he just wanted to make sure he was in the city.
See, I thought I remember her saying that. So he was in good timing, honey. He wasn't running late. He just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to be late. Okay, so yeah, the math ain't mathing. It really ain't. 7:30.
On time.
Yeah. And it's that on that. Like, what do y'all think about that? Like, so we got two totally different testimonies. And again, shout out to Joy for pointing that out because I wasn't listening for that. And so that's why it's important to re-listen to this stuff, man, because when you first listen to it, you're just listening. You don't have an angle necessarily, you know? So I'm glad we went back over those two key testimonies. That's what those are. Those are key testimonies. And so, shoot, I'm not going to hold y'all because I didn't even think it was going to be that long. Like, we've been here almost 3 hours and I got another live stream in 15 minutes. So, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Shout out to Stay Dangerous. I did not even know it's Dangerous popped in the building. Welcome in. Misha Hayes, thank you for coming through. 2018, that's what all of y'all heard. 2018, man. I wrote down 2018, but I wasn't sure. Oh, okay, I didn't know that part. Let's see. That's when Shannon probably told her ZIYAH was having a girl. Oh, okay. So I think I pretty much went through these. Bulla Bear, welcome in. If you still here, y'all please smack the thumbs up for me. It is so important and it's so super free. It is free 99. Please hit that thumbs up. Is anyone applying pressure on anybody else? Because yes, Shannon need to speak up, but it was other adults that was around that knew he wasn't supposed to be around kids. But the only people that's responsible is the ones that was in that household. So that's why we focus on Shannon. And I mean, I don't say a whole lot about the grandmother, but I've said enough. I believe Shannon and the grandmother and the other twin, they responsible more than anybody outside of the house. And then it was reported in 2022. So people did what they were supposed to do. It was the authorities, it was the CPS and those people that didn't do what they were supposed to do, and whoever was responsible for keeping up for this with this pred who wasn't even registering on the SRO and what is it? Yeah, SOR. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, SOR is what it is. But yeah, he wasn't even on that. So I don't know what do he got friends in high places? It don't make sense to me that he was able to skate like he was. But yeah, I don't blame the cousins. I don't blame nobody but the people that was in that house. You know, I know that people be blaming the family and stuff like that, but I believe they knew. I mean, they said themselves that they knew. They knew stuff was going on years before too, like before 2022. Some of the family members had heard stuff and knew of stuff. And then when they did report it, nothing was done. It was reports made. I read them in my last live stream, the dates and stuff. And nothing was done. That's why I'm like CPS. We need to be talking about them more. You know, but that's what the petition is all about, and it's about that, and you know, holding the women of accountable that was in that household, acting like they didn't know nothing. Oh, we could just if we act like we didn't know, and then it had to be something said to where that stuff. Shannon's name was never mentioned in those text messages, and we heard Shannon admit to buying the test twice. We heard Jarvis say, "Go get another one." You know what I'm saying? Like, so it must have been some type of understanding. She definitely knew. She had the same cell phone. She admitted on Mark D's channel that she knew. He told her. So she died. Yeah. So if they ain't got enough of Shannon, like the grandmother ain't been doing the talking. It's Shannon that's doing all the talking. Like again, I'm gonna say it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And the grandmother ain't on social media doing all this stuff. But Shannon and the stuff that's coming out of her mouth is getting her straight caught up. But the grandmother too, they all been questioned. And since those kids been taken out, they all been questioned again. And those kids are going to tell. I mean, the one case that I know, Orson West, Sincere Classic, Cal City Boys 3 and 4, adopted by 30. The adopted parents was like in their 30s, early to mid 30s. They had like 6 kids. They had 5 or 6 kids. They shouldn't have had all those kids, and they wasn't doing nothing but getting those kids for the money. Then those kids came up missing. And when they got a chance, when they was finally able to take the kids, and it took a long time. The process, man, it could take years. But I bet you they locked up now because once they got those kids and they was able to question the kids. They questioned them, early on. They questioned them later on, like a year or so later. Little bit of things changed, but those kids remembered that those kids were at the house and then they was gone, and they remember what they were told. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was a no. 2 babies came up missing, still ain't been found, but they in jail, they in prison, and it was a husband and wife. Didn't neither one of them roll over on each other, so they both got the time. I forgot. 20 years, something like that. I'm gonna have to look it up again. But yeah, those kids is gonna be the key, because right now they are afraid to say anything. I don't know what they do to them to make them be so, just like the children that was left in that home for 5 years that never sought help, that never called and told. The police never walked out or nothing. It's the same thing went on with those kids. Is the same thing that's happening with these children. Now, once they get away, they ain't in fear no more. They ain't worried about betraying. And in Vari's case, he said out of his mouth, well, actually, Kiwana has said it. If you listen at her when she talking about talking to one of the kids that was calling her because she was a favorite cousin to him. That's Vari. And he told her some stuff. But his biggest fear of telling was that his sister would be taken away and put in foster care. He never see her again. That's why he didn't want to say anything. But now he can. He's still defending the grandmother, but he's not with the aunties. He putting them out there in his rap song. We played that. If y'all didn't see my last live stream, please check it out. Shout out to Spoken by Royalty. Thank you for coming in. How you doing? Happy hump day. But yeah, so shoot. Let's see. Young Riaz in the building. How you doing? If I didn't say nothing, I'd be talking and forgetting what I'm saying. Or if I spoke. And people that's a content creator, you know what I'm talking about, because we all do it. But I'm not going to hold y'all up. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Yeah, I forgot that quick. I got to get up out of here. So I got a live stream that'll pop up after this. I'm going to come in. I'm going to add to this live stream. It's about Ashley Elkins. And so I'm going to cover a couple cases. It's another case that I want to talk about. So I'm going to be back a little bit later. So please hit the notification on the next live stream that pop up. And we'll be back probably about maybe 3. It just depends. So, but I'm definitely coming back today. So please hit the notifications. It's going to pop up after this one. So please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make this go viral. Thank y'all for tuning in. Smack that thumbs up on the way out, y'all. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, BFF. And thank you to everybody in the building. Thank you for the 58 thumbs up. And the 58 votes. believe y'all think he was paying. I'm shocked. So yeah, I always be forgetting about my poll, right? So it says, do you believe Jarvis was paying? 58 votes. Y'all said at 36%, yes, y'all believe that he was paying. No at 29%, and 34% says maybe. So y'all kind of split. You know, I never even thought about it, him paying, because he is broke looking to me. I'm shocked.
What in the fuckity fuck kind of shit is this?
Wow. I'm shocked. But however,
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You going to jail. You going to jail. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass. Nanny boo boo.
all right, y'all, we out. Peace and love.